Stephanie, how's the lighting? Can you see? I just want to make sure all the contours are covered, okay? Oh, it's like we're in bug heaven. You know what? We can actually put up some more of those bat houses. I know I talked to Gary earlier and he's fine with it. We just have to order some. If you guys could put some more bat houses up, it would really help with the mosquito issues.
They are the wood enthusiasts.
And Gary was there with me at the time and he said, let's just cut the nonsense. It's hardwood. You know, and I was stunned and I said, well, wait a minute. It's not just hardwood. There's a conversation here, Gary. There's something that needs to be discussed here. And he said, no, there's not. It's hardwood or it's softwood. And I said, no, that's not, that's not the case. But at the same time, this was the first time I'd ever discussed it openly. I mean, we've thought about this for years and years and years and years. But it's the first time kind of an open forum came, and it was a small group discussion at the convention, and things got heated. And probably within 10 minutes, we had 40, 50, 60 people talking about this, and it got very heated.
Well, I thought there wasn't much planning. I mean, you guys just come to some crazy idea and have no plan. You're talking, hardwood and softwood. And then there's has to be education. Nobody knows. If you're not a wood expert or wood enthusiast, which I think I am, but I don't know anything. The tree grows, you cut it down. My uncle was here to ask him.
The Vegas incident. Yeah, no, I remember that very well. I think that's really the first time that we kicked off this whole movement, this whole right side, left side type of argument.
This really has, never really been discussed openly before. So, well, it has been discussed openly, but not on this scale. There was that cherry wood convention down in Vegas a few years back, and
I'm on the right side, of course. Get it right. But Bram actually was there too. I think Larry's talked about Bram. He's a wonderful gentleman. He facilitated the conversation, actually. You could ask him more about it at a later date. But I really felt like I had to stand up before all these people and stand the ground. Everybody else was talking about different types of wood and different characteristics and different... although I didn't disagree with them, where we differed was, yes, they all have different characteristics, but there are only two types.
Bram is a person who has a lot of wisdom. He's also quiet. He's more of an introvert, and he speaks when he has knowledge of something, and he speaks when he has a strong opinion. But on that one, he wasn't specific to what his opinion was. Gary was very, Gary's actually quite opinionated when you get him going, and he kind of laid the line down. It's hardwood or there's softwood, and we aren't going to have this discussion going forward. All this to say, a few weeks ago, we were talking about this program, and we were talking about, whatever issues we're going to land on. This was never discussed. And that's why I found it so shocking. And actually, I think you can hear a little bit of my tone in there. That's why I was so shocked. So,
I could see the outbreak, and Larry was there, Gary was there, and there was a bit of a disagreement. And Bram was there too. And so there was maybe 40 people there just kind of really hashing this out. Is there 2 species? Are there 26,000 species? How many species of tree are there? And I remember just being confused. I'm like, guys, there's lots of species and they all need water. Like, why are we fighting about this? Let's just get out there and make sure that there's not a hydration issue.
Hi, Bram Rifflecut over here from the far side of the road, but I appreciate you giving me a call. There's not a lot of time I have on the hands of me, but to be honest, I'm a bit sick, so the voice is a bit strained. But if you don't mind, I just wanted to say that it's not. I don't think there's a huge conversation here, really, is there now? you know, Gary's absolutely right, and that's where I'm going to land because it's just silly to think otherwise. So.
Mr. Clutterbugs walking through the forest, watering trees, even though they don't need it. Mr. Clutterbugs.
Hey guys, I just have an idea for the show. I think we need to raise awareness for a lot of the trees in urban areas. As you can see, I'm down in Markham, Ontario, busy road. You know, see all these street trees here, and you know, sometimes they get neglected. And I know for this one right here, I was driving and had to stop. Well, it definitely needs some love and care. I mean, you look down low on the tree here and you think it's doing fine. Maybe some people are driving by and think, hey, this tree's doing okay. But in actuality, it needs a lot of water. Going to be on this thing a few days, but we're hoping for a complete bounce back. Hoping really that this tree can bounce back to full life. And people kind of write it off, but I think with a little bit of TLC, this tree will be back to its best in no time. Yeah, I just find it amazing. Look at all these cars driving by. I'm the only one who has stopped. So I'm gonna head back and get the water. You know, they say like, whoa, look at all the other trees, you know, in the area here. And I'm saying, yeah, but I mean, just because 99 are doing well, you're gonna leave one to die. So good to talk to you guys. Anyway, have a good day.
In response to this podcast, I don't have any apologies. You know, I stand firm with what I said. I stand strong with the topic, and I think it's healthy. And I hope you guys talk to Glenn, Mr. Clutterbuck, and I hope you talk to Gary because he's got a wealth of information. He's got lots of insight. And you guys might see him as kind of a yes/no type person, but he's got a lot of insight. And I think he would offer a lot, just kind of explaining himself. He's really good at kind of explaining himself and where he stands.
Maple is hardwood. That is a pine. Fairly fresh. How do I know that? Because of its smell, because of its texture, because of its profile. But it's still a softwood.
A whole lot of wood. Yeah, so this whole controversy. I don't think you can just classify wood as either hardwood or softwood. A whole lot of wood. Like, you have to kind of specify it a bit more. Maple and oak aren't the same thing. They're both hardwood, but they aren't exactly the same. A whole lot of wood. You can't just compare them like that. But they're different woods entirely. So I don't think you can really classify them as the same kind of wood. That's kind of where I'm standing on this whole controversy. A whole lot of wood. And I don't really... A whole lot of wood.
But oh, maybe I don't know, Uncle Ed, but he knows everything about the different kinds of wood and what kind of wood burns quick and unburns quick, and what kind of wood you make good furniture out of. And so I don't know, there's a controversy, maybe, but yeah.
So,
I've asked to have my voice and face disguised because I don't want to lose my job. But in this situation, Larry is 100% wrong. He is always wrong. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He is not an expert, and he shouldn't even be on this show, and he shouldn't even be considered a wood enthusiast. But he was wrong to start this debate, and he's wrong on the angle he takes. So that's the truth.
I mean, if that is part of being a friend, then I think this conversation needs to happen maybe even more often.
do I regret speaking truth? Do I regret telling it honestly and, in possibly getting ridiculed and being ostracized? No, not at all.
Let me say this before I close off this interview. Sorry. Let me say that I'm not done with this topic. Oh, well, that's smarts. Oh, my goodness, that's smarts. Oh, there's a little bit of blood, but that's okay. What I'm going to say is I'm not done with this topic. I think we're going to bring it up again because it is certainly a hot button. I mean, look at the forums. Look at the threads. We're just global, and people are talking. And maybe for the first time, people are talking about wood in a way that maybe we didn't think was possible, or culturally acceptable, or culturally expected. So, so I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm at the forefront, and that's where I've always wanted to be. You know, I've always said there's no president, but if there was one, if there was one, I put my hand up. But that being said, this puts me and Gary and Glenn at the forefront of the conversation. I think we want to stay right there. So yeah, no, I don't. I have no regrets.
I mean, I don't really align with the guys on that one. I think they've gone a little off base. I think they're trying to be a little more open to different people. But that's not what I'm about. There's only.
Yeah, you know, I've just got my phone here. The script is on there. Yeah. Okay. Can you see that? Can you see that? Oh my goodness, there's a creak. Oh my goodness, there's a creak in the fence, and it's a little bit. It's actually sounding a little bit haunting. Can you guys take a look? Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that fence? Have a listen. There's a bit of a creak. Hear that?